to the meat of the Romulan storyline, one big change is becoming apparent. There actually is a storyline here. Not just disconnected missions against the same enemy. The intro mission, shuttling a guy to Romulan space, had a segue into the last mission, and the last mission had info in it that leads to this mission. Not a high bar storytelling-wise, but we've cleared it. Last mission, you discovered that a Borg sphere had been delivered to the Pilatus system, and that the Romulan Empire was using Borg tech. Well, now it's time to check in on that and destroy it before it gets out of hand. So you ship over there and drop in to see the sphere guarded by a lone Tavaro, so this should be easy peasy. Ah, 2 more, well that's not too bad. Oh, come on. Well, whatever. You take this guy out too and scan the sphere. It's empty, so you blow it up. But you still need to figure out where the Romulans have been taking their salvaged parts. Conveniently, there's a communication satellite nearby that you can mess with to lure a Romulan ship out and track it. Your plan works, and you follow the Romulans out to the Gasco system. Here you find a station that for sure has got some Borg stuff on board, but you'll have to clear out the defenders first. You take a methodical approach to the station's turrets, and soon enough you're all clear, so you beam on in, and who the fuck is this guy? Seriously, he's not part of the crew. I've never seen this man before in my life. Anyway, he wants you to murder your way through the station, so he seems pretty legit. In the transporter bay, you meet a woman who lets you know that the station security is on high alert, as if that is something they wouldn't do after having every turret blasted away by a hostile starship. She also wants you to help her sister or something. So you fight your way to the lead scientist, who lets you know that the Romulan Tau Shiar is basically keeping the scientists captive here and using their families as collateral to keep them working. Not cool. You fight your way down to where the Borg stuff is being kept, and clear out the guards while scientists jog past like it's a fun run. Once the room is clear, you review the head scientist's logs, which are a little more enthusiastic about all this than he wanted you to think. He did start to lose that enthusiasm when the Borg tech was being forced into people, though, so you've got to give him a little credit. Once you finish the logs, you take out the Borg tech and engineering and proceed to medical, where they're experimenting on people. The commander of the station is here himself to get gunned down without trial, just the way God intended. Then you rescue the test subjects, beaming them up to your ship and promising to get them home. With the station secure for now, you contact the lead scientist, who gives you access codes to wipe the computer core and optimistically states that this will prevent the research from ever being replicated. So you purge the computers and oh hey, it's that guy again, and beam out. Back in your ship, the Borg-modified ships docked at the station are booting up, so you need to destroy them. Fortunately, they take a really long time to power up, so they all go down without a fight. Having taken out the last traces of Borg research here, one of the Romulans you rescued requests transport back to her colony. You agree because otherwise the next mission can't happen, and warp out. In your debrief, Admiral Tanay puts an unnecessarily specific number 76.77% to the likelihood of this sort of thing happening again, and bids you well.
Live long and prosper.
This mission sees Borg tech show up for the first time since the tutorial, and it looks pretty neat, I guess. At the end there are ships with Borg tech integrated, which would be pretty cool if you ever got a good look at them. I did notice in editing that there was a Romulan shuttle strung up and Borgified in the mission, but the room was so darkly lit that it completely passed me by initially. There are a lot of things in the game like that, actually. If you stop and look around, there are often some neat visuals, but they're often placed just out of sight, or your attention is drawn elsewhere by combat or objective placement. I think later missions are probably better at this, but I'll try to keep a better eye out. This mission has almost no voice acting, and it makes the whole thing much less interesting. Even if I'm just skimming through text, voice acting can be a good shortcut to telling me that the text is important, so I should pay attention. Stowe already gives you a too long didn't read in bright green for objectives, but the plot can get a little lost when your eyes glaze over from another block of silent text in the middle of your game about shooting people with lasers. The only voice acting in this mission at all is in the debrief, which is unfortunate. At the end of this mission, you take on some Borgified Romulan ships that are charging up. They can only fight once they've finished charging, and shooting them supposedly speeds up their charging. You can, supposedly, delay their charge up as well. The action to delay them takes forever and stops if you take damage or when you fire your weapons, and also doesn't seem to do anything anyway. There's also no appreciable increase in the rate at which ships power up when you shoot them. It all just seems a little pointless, but maybe it's bugged. It's hard to tell. There's also this fucking guy. I genuinely don't know who he is. He's not part of my bridge crew. He's not an officer candidate that I haven't picked yet. He's not a duty officer. I haven't even been given duty officers yet. And I don't remember the mission giving you a guy like the ones with Lieutenant Vanzel. He's got a cool name, and he's weird looking in a way that would fit right in, but like, who even is he, and why is he here? I don't know. This was not a hard one. Maybe if the ships at the end had powered up, I would have had a harder time, but as it is, I faced nothing here that gave me much hassle. Probably the hardest part was dismantling the station defenses, but unless you just fly directly into the station, I don't think you'll see any real challenge here. Unsurprisingly then, this mission was also on the shorter side, only taking about 20 minutes end to end. Despite my whinging, I didn't hate this mission. I didn't love it, for sure, but I've seen worse. I think the fun here really hinges on how much you care about the lore and the story. The titular Romulan mystery is starting to show up if you pay attention to the dialogue, like the lead researcher talking about circumstances beyond our control, and having the research complete within the Empress's timeline. If you don't care about that though, this mission is boring as hell and the rewards are only okay. We have hit level 10 now though, which means next episode we get a new ship. For now though, I'm giving this mission a 5 out of 10.